You know, one of the most common plumbing questions I get at work is about water pressure. You know, and it usually involves the hot water side. The hot water side, I don't have water pressure. So the questions you need to ask yourself, and some of these things you can't solve yourself unless you're really handy, but first ask yourself, is the water pressure, the hot water pressure, is it just at one sink or is it all over the house? If it's just at one sink, you know, or in a bathroom, you know, like the kitchen sink or the bathroom sink, it could just be the aerator and has sediment in it. But what you would also notice is that then the water pressure would be down on the cold side as well. So if it's both, it very well, it's one of these. And same thing in the shower, although in shower we're tending to use, you know, hot water. So it can be the shower head. And it's just, if it's just limited to one fixture, it's obviously right there. You could take the fixture, the shower head off, replace it, or if it's one you can't get, maybe it's a rain head or you just can't get it off, you can take a bag of vinegar and just put it over and zip tie it, and that will clean it out pretty good and really improve the pressure. Now, if it's the hot water and it's just the hot water and it's throughout the house, generally it's going to come back to here, the water heater. And there's various reasons why. And the funny thing, I have this rubber mallet because I read one time online, I was doing a little research. They said, you know, if you take a rubber mallet and just, that'll help break up the sediment, which is kind of stupid. But you know what, it makes you feel like you're doing something. But don't swing it too hard, you may hurt your arm. So this will do nothing. So I'm going to throw that over there. So the heater itself, I will say that as the sediment comes out of the heater, especially if there's a 90-degree angle coming out, sometimes that all, as we call it, the boogers, gets caught right there. This one goes straight up. And sometimes a plumber or you, if you're handy, you just have to replace that elbow. And that elbow is like that sediment, and it's rock solid, and it just gets in that elbow, and you can replace it. Sometimes it's more complicated than that. In a really older home, there, you know, the sediment can kind of start lining itself, and they might have to replace more and more. Sometimes it's the heater itself, because if we don't have a softener in the house, the sediment starts to build up. You ever hear that kind of that popping noise that comes out of your heater? Well, what that is, there's a calcium shelf there, a sediment shelf, and as the heat goes through it, it's making that popping noises. But what it's also doing is reducing the amount of capacity of your heater itself. So if the heater is starting to age and you don't have a softener, it might be as simple as replacing the heater itself. So you have to kind of diagnose it, and sometimes on an individual, like the kitchen, let's say go back to the kitchen faucet, and it's just the kitchen faucet, and the hot water is fine everywhere else. Well, it might be the valve underneath the sink. A washer could have come loose in it and is blocking the hot water. And so there's all different reasons. Some of them you can diagnose yourself. Some of them you're going to have to get a plumber, and there's a lot of great plumbers around that can help you out. So, but you don't have to live with it. You can certainly have someone take care of it for you.